Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. For this video, we'll be going through the last items from the Eva-Frame Volume 1, the Weapons A and Weapons B sets, and these are all part of the overarching rebuild of Evangelion. And this particular gacha box was released by Bandai back in 2021. So if you're watching this video, I would imagine you have seen the first three of these, which would have been the unboxings of Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 0, the actual Eva sets themselves. For this particular video, it will now be just going through the accessories that can be equipped onto the Evas, more specifically Unit 1 in the way of weapons, although the pallet rifle is universal, and Unit 2 with its S-type equipment and its, I dare say, harpoon launcher. So here we have the front of the box. Weapon A, Weapon B, with Eva Unit 1 on the front cover, darkened in this particular image to try and highlight the bonus material. Likewise for Weapon B, the silhouette of Unit 2 has been darkened to brighten up some of the other things that will be included with this, which will be the S-type equipment and the weapon and the cage. Bottom of the box, top of the box. I will admit I do like this particular visual of the three Evas together, reminiscent of when they were going against the exploding angel. Yes, that one. The one that had to take all three of them. Seen the side of the box enough times, so we've done the Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 0 unboxing. Now we're on to the weapons. In terms of the back of the box, so the bottom image is the same across the two. And on the left we have Unit 2 with its S-type equipment in its iconic pose. And on the right we have Unit 1 with the Gatling, which I believe it also used against a angel as well. Now, let's crack open these boxes. Okay, so we know the instructions are inside, so we'll definitely need to make a point of going through those. So that's the one big bag with everything that's included, and this literally does feel like it is a mini real grade. Just looking at that base plate alone, it really is a miniaturized version of the transport set. Through and through. You can tell what the inspiration was for this. And yes, the gun. That was Weapons A, Weapons B, and actually, yeah, these boxes were surprisingly quite hefty for what's included. Those transport bases have a good amount of weight on the gun, which we're used to seeing, and two bags for this one. First bag has the S-type equipment for Unit 2. So we've got some pre-paint and the red plastic as well as a sticker sheet. And then the other is the actual transport base and weapons. Weapon, which will be the harpoon gun. And I'm not sure what those are, but we will find out soon, I'm sure. Although I'm guessing it's for the weapon itself. A little bit to pretty much unpack and go through. So I will cut open the bags, get all these pieces out, as well as open up these boxes so we can have a better look at the actual instructions, since they'll be somewhat brand new. Okay, with the box is now opened up and the plastic bags sliced open and the contents removed. So this is the box from Weapons A that aligns with Unit 1. So the first half is putting together the transport cage, and to be honest, this is literally is a miniaturized version of the transport you get with the real grade. Subsequently, the pallet knife and the Gatling gun, they just feel like literally miniature versions of everything. But the good thing is they will have that nice peg in the hand, so they will be quite secure to hold. And lastly, there are multiple attachment points for these little connectors, which basically will act as weapon storage, which is actually really cool. You've got more weapon storage on these things, and it's not even the real grade, or a high grade, or any other grade of kit. That was Weapons A. In terms of Weapons B, left side is the same as what we saw from Weapons A, just building the transport cage. The top section on the right has the instructions on how to switch out the configuration for Unit 2 to the S-type, so the revised shoulders and little wing bits, and there will also be a change to its forearms, and that's where one of those stickers will come into play, which we'll have a look at in a second. Weapon can be held as well as attached to the cage with some of these little multiple clip things which can be connected to various parts of the transport cage. Very nifty. I guess let's start off with Unit 1. So I'm just going to pretty much lay this all out here in some loose arrangement. All the bits for the transport cage, main base plates, the bottom part of the cage, and then the top section of the cage with a little bit in between, and we get 3 of these little connector pins. In terms of the detailing, it really does look like they've miniaturized things. It is hollow inside, but what can you expect? Same with the transport base. It will have that bit of a hollow inside. It will be very flat. And there's one of the other bottom base bits. So we'll move that to one side. We'll try to. We've got a bit to get through. Gatling gun with the actual hole in the handle to attach to the peg. Very nice Gatling gun. It's quite sturdy. Very cool. And then we have the pallet rifle. Once again, it has a nice little connection point for the peg in the hand. So that is Weapons A for Unit 1. In terms of Weapons B, we'll do the same thing again with the transport cage, and this time's actually in a different color. So the Unit 1 transport is in that olive green type color, while the one for Unit 2 is in more of a shadow grey. So it's the exact same things: base, the 2 bottom components, the 2 top components, the middle connector, and 3 of these little pins. In terms of the weapons, there's these little sections which will attach to the main body, so probably at the front, which we would have seen. There's the attachment point for the peg in the hand. Obviously hard to tell what these look like when they're loose, but they pretty much attach to the weapon. And the last bits that were included, you have the foil stickers for the revised armaments for Unit 2 for its S-type equipment. And then we have a runner with the revised forearms, which basically look like they've just made the forearm protrusions a bit more aerodynamic. Although it also does look like they've made a bit more armor on the forearm as well. And we also have these wing bits which will attach to the new shoulders. And we have 2 sets of shoulders. A little bit of hollowness, but I believe that's where those wing bits will go in and fill up. Once again, that little section there is movable, and we do have the 2 of them with bits of pre-painted color on both. So that pretty much wraps up the view of the Weapons A and Weapons B sets. I'm actually quite surprised they included these bits and pieces. They definitely didn't have to, but it's nice to include some of these extra accessories just to really thematically bring it all home. It's very, very cool. With that being said, it also brings us to the end of the Eva-Frame Volume 1. So that is all 8 boxes now unboxed and pretty much ready to go for assembly. I have to double check which Evas I've done. I think I've only done units 0 and 1. Just as a bit of a weird size comparison between one of these Eva frames and the actual real grade. I'm sure it'll be very, very noticeable, but that's much later down the track. We'll get to it when we get to it. Thank you very much for engaging with this commemorative series. First birthday is pretty much now done and dusted, and pretty much focusing back on getting back to the usual content. So after this video, I do not plan to do any more Eva videos in the sense of for the first year YouTube part. It'll pretty much go back to the usual content. So there's plenty of Gundam Age videos to actually publish. There's definitely a few Lego videos to publish, the Zoid series, and a few other things. So there's actually a few different series ready to go. So it will just be a case of intermixing them up through the upcoming weeks to get that content published and out to people to watch. Thanks again for watching. Feel free to leave a like, a comment, or subscribe if you haven't done so already. The support you provide to the channel does go a long way, and I do appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, link in the description below. Stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.